Here we have a problem on quadratic equation. Okay, let's go to the question. Divide 25 into two parts so that the sum of the reciprocals is 1 over 6. So now we have to divide 25 into two parts, and we have to take reciprocals of both the parts and add them, and the result has to be 1 over 6. For example, if I assume the first part of the 25 is 10, what must be the second part? So everyone can answer this question. That is 15, because when we add 10 and 15, I'm getting 25. So as soon as I said the first part is 10, so we can find the second part 15 by subtracting this part 10 from this 25 to get the second part. In case I am saying 12 is the first part, to get the second part of 25, we have to subtract this 12 from 25. When I subtract 12 from 25, I am getting 13. That is 13 is the second part. That is when we add them, we must be getting 25. But I do not know exactly whether the first part is 10 or 12 or 13, 15. Since I do not know exactly what is the first part, let me assume x as the first part or one of the parts. Let me write the stuff over here. One of the parts of 25. I assume x as one of the parts of 25. Then the other part is, let me write the stuff over here. What must be the other part? So to get the other part, what we have to do is we have to subtract this part from 25. As I said earlier, if 10 is the first part, to get the second part, we have to subtract 10 from 25. Now 10 is not the first part, x is the first part. So to get the second part, we have to subtract this x from 25. Then I'm getting 25 negative x is the second part. So now once we get the value of x, that is the first part, we can plug in the same value of x over here to get the second part. Okay, now let's use the given information. Sum of the reciprocals is 1 over 6. Let me take the reciprocal of the first part x, that is 1 over x. Then the reciprocal of the second part is 1 over 25 negative x. Sum means we have to add them. It must be equal to 1 over 6 according to the information we have over here. Now in this equation, we have to solve for x. For that, what we can do is we can consider the addition of two fractions over here. We don't have the same denominator for both the fractions, and also the denominator, both the denominators contain a variable. In that case, we have to use a cross multiplication method to add these two fractions. Cross multiplication means that the first numerator has to be multiplied by the second denominator. The second numerator has to be multiplied by the first denominator. Then I'm getting 1 times 25 negative x is just 25 negative x. Let's take this positive sign as it is. X times 1 is just x divided by x times 25 negative x equals to 1 over 6. Here negative x positive x will cancel out. Let me continue over here. We have 25 numerator. In denominator, we can distribute this x to this 25 and negative x. Then I'm getting 25x negative x square. On the right side, we have 1 over 6. Okay, now what we can do is we can do cross multiplication. To do further simplification, there is a numerator on the left side has to be multiplied by the denominator on the right side. That is 25 times 6. And the numerator on the right side has to be multiplied by this denominator on the left side. Then I'm getting 1 times 25x negative x square. Here 25 times 6 is 150. And when I multiply this complete stuff by 1, still I'm getting the same stuff over here, that is 25x negative x square. Okay, here we got a quadratic equation. Okay, to solve this quadratic equation, we have to write this quadratic equation standard form, that is ax square positive bx positive c equals to 0. That is, we have to get everything on one side of the equation, on the other side we must have 0. But here we have 150, the constant at the left side, and x term and x square on the right side. So now let's try to make the right side of this equation as 0. For that, we have to get for these two terms. For that, let me subtract 25x from both sides. Let me do it. And also let me add x square to both sides. Let me do it. So when I do so, this positive 25x, negative 25x will cancel out. Negative x square, positive x square will cancel out. Now on the left side, we have a positive x square, or simply we can write x square. Then we have the x term, that is negative 25x. Positive 150 equals to 0. Okay, now I got the quadratic equation in standard form. Okay, now we can try to solve this quadratic equation by factoring. So for that, what we have to do is we have to multiply the constant term positive 150 by the coefficient of x square. In this case, the coefficient of x square is 1. So when I multiply this positive constant term positive 150 by the coefficient of x square 1, I am getting positive 150. Now I have to get two factors for this positive 150, so that the sum of the two factors must be equal to the coefficient of x, that is negative 25. I think negative 10 and negative 15 will work. Okay, because when I multiply negative 10 and negative 15, I'm getting positive 150. And also when I add them, I'm getting negative 25, which is the coefficient of x. Now I have to divide these two factors by the coefficient of x square, that is 1. So let's divide by 1. When I divide both negative 10 and negative 15 by 1, still I'm getting the same value, negative 10 and negative 15. Usually when I solve a quadratic equation, I'll be getting two values for the variable. So in this quadratic equation also, I'll be getting two values for x. Now to get the first value of x, I have to change the sign of the first factor over here, negative 10. When I change, already it's negative. When I change this sign, it will be positive. That is, I'm getting x equals to 10. To get the second value of x, I have to change the sign of the factor over here. Already it's negative. When I change the sign, I'm getting 15. Okay, I'm getting two values for x. One is 10 and the other one is 15. Now what I have to do is I have to plug in these two values for x, 10 and 15, in the other part of the 25. Okay, let me do it over here. When x is equal to 10, then 25 negative x equals to 25 negative 10, which is equal to 15. That is, if one of the parts is 10, the other part is 15. Now let me try the second value of x also. That is x equals to 15. Let me plug in x equals to 15. Then I'm getting 25 negative x equals to 25 negative 15. Then I'm getting 25 negative 15 is 10. When one of the parts is 15, the other part is 10. Anyways, we get the same results. So we divide 25 into two parts, so that the sum of the reciprocal is 1/6. Such two parts are 10 and 25.